I am applying to 1,000 remote jobs. Why? Because whenever I talk about my overemployment days, people always say, I'd love to do that, but jobs like that don't exist anymore.
100% disagree.
But I don't have the actual data to back it up. So it's time to fire up the engines and apply. But before we get started, I'm gonna split the applying into 2 different batches. The first one using one resume, my actual resume that I used to land all of my jobs and declined 17 other job offers. I pulled all the studies and data I could to try to make this perfect. Here it is. Gorgeous, right? But you can always do better. So for the second batch, I'm gonna be applying by specifically tailoring this resume to each job description. And my thinking is that by tailoring those resumes for each job description, it will skyrocket the number of interviews that we actually get. But again, I need the data, so we'll wait and see. Time to hit the apply button. There we go. 1 down, 999 more to go. Oh, and my girlfriend is coming to town in exactly 7 days. So all 1,000 applications need to be submitted by then, because I think she would kill me if I spent our whole vacation applying for jobs that I don't need for a YouTube video that no one will watch. Anyway, time to start applying. All right, let's talk logistics. To track everything, I built out this beautiful monster in Airtable. Every row is a different job, and the columns being the link to job description, then the batch, whether it's from batch A or batch B, the outcome, which is an interview, being ghosted or rejected, and then the job board itself, which is internal applications, LinkedIn, or some other job boards that we'll discuss later. Okay, so I'm 25 applies in, and that number is important because you can't just spam the apply button. This video would be so much easier if you could do that, but you would be shadow banned. See, LinkedIn does this to people who it thinks is a bot. This is actually not dissimilar from Hinge or Tinder. If you're just hammering likes, they make it so that you can still see people and swipe on them, but your profile is never being shown to the people you're swiping on. And the worst part is, you're never told about this. It just happens silently in the background. So in the applying case, if you aren't hearing back from anybody, even if you're qualified, and it feels like your applications have vanished into the void, you could be shadow banned. The way that I have avoided this in the past and will avoid it now is using the following system. Whenever I'm applying on LinkedIn, I will 1. Apply in batches of 25 jobs, 4 sessions spread out by an hour. And then to add an extra level of security, I'm going to switch browsers every session, going between Chrome, Brave, Firefox, and Edge. I wish I had a sponsorship I could throw in from Opera. And at the start of every session, I'm going to clear the cache and cookies from each browser just in case. And this will all ensure that we have the absolute cleanest data out there, all for you guys. If that doesn't deserve a like, I don't know what will. I'm waiting. Might as well subscribe too. My videos are only being shown to my dead relatives at the moment, and I think they would love to see these get a little more traction. End of day 1, I sent out 100 applies, which took me around 5 hours, which I think is decent. I think I'm gonna need to up my numbers though as well. Make it more efficient overall. Tomorrow, I'm going to try to do 150. All right, day 2. I forgot to mention this. I'm not writing cover letters for any applications, but when I was applying back in the day, I did strategically. Actually, this needs to be another video. Overemployed versus unemployed applying for jobs. Anyway, and I truly believe that cover letters are one of the strongest levers you can pull, particularly if you're good at writing like me. I wrote them as a narrative, not including anything you could find on my resume, and I had a handful of people tell me that my cover letter alone made them want to hire me on the spot, and that they rarely ever receive cover letters, let alone good ones. Anywho, I haven't heard back from a single job. Today I exceeded my expectation and applied to 167 jobs. I really thought I would hear back from at least one, even a no. I'd take anything at this point. There were a couple automated emails saying, we'll get back to you soon, but I'm starting to think maybe I messed up. Maybe I got shadow banned, applied to too many too quickly, or maybe I'm just wrong. Really wanted one yes to get the momentum and show people that this is possible. I don't know. I gotta go to sleep. Last night, I fell asleep dreaming that I would wake up to some email replies. You know what? I was right. But there weren't acceptances. Woke up to 4 emails in my inbox, all no's. Sounds like a joke. I mean, I guess I did ask for it. I said I would even take a rejection, so now I'm gonna have to take some rejection. It really never, it never doesn't sting a little bit. And I don't even need these jobs. It's like, you know, what did I do wrong? Anyway, time to keep hammering. Let's get on with it. Time to make some coffee. Nothing powers your applying to jobs better than a little espresso in the morning. All right, time to keep hammering. Since I'm in Portugal right now, let's apply in some fun locations. Also, I never mentioned the job titles that I'm applying for, and in this case, it's 3 different ones. The first being business analyst, the second being product owner, and this is rare that I actually have the experience for them, but product manager. And when we do the breakdown of the data, I'll also do which jobs gave me the best results, so there's no attribution bias, and I'm fairly certain I know the answer. All right, let's go home. All right, back home, and we did a total of 121 applies, which, just doing some math, brings us to 387, which is pretty good. Tomorrow we'll bang out the rest of this batch, but then remember, we have 500 more to go, which will take longer. Not looking forward to it, but all in the name of science. Today I hauled up in my co-working space basically the whole day. I blew way past the halfway point, and here are some stats for you. My average applying time I got down to 2 minutes. I really don't know what I was doing on the first day. So including the first day's painfully slow session, my total time for these first 500 jobs was a little over 19 hours. That's the short part. Now we're tailoring the resumes, and I'm very curious to see 1, how much longer it takes, and 2, more importantly, how many more interviews we get. But we ended the day at a total of 566 applications, and there's only 3 days left. I'm sweating. It's a rainy day, and I'm going to take full advantage of this. Now we're on to the hard part, the more complicated applies, customizing our resumes for each job listing. And how are we going to go about doing this? Simple, use ChatGPT. Now, an easier way to do this is to use wrappers like these, or you can teach ChatGPT how to do it. Basically by uploading a job description and resume and then using a prompt like this. I suggest doing it in a project folder and having it generate your resume many times to make sure that it's not making any mistakes. It's worth the time, trust me. If you do it right, applying this way should take roughly 3 to 4 minutes per job, which is double what a normal application takes, but it should have more than double the results, but we'll see. Look at this, I just came across the most bizarre job application. It's written entirely in Chinese. Look at this. Now luckily, I know Chinese, but is this like a test for people to see if they're answering randomly or if they can put it into ChatGPT? I don't know. Look at this. What is going on? Anyway, I thought this was funny. Oh man, my brain is mush. That was basically the whole day. I think around 10 hours of applying. We got through actually 198.
Hold on.
Never mind. Make that 200. I really wish for moments like this there were firework pop-ups like in RuneScape. Very anticlimactic. I still have so many to go. I'm genuinely not sure if this is possible, but who knows, I might wake up tomorrow just feeling like grinding the whole day away again. But another day that's this long just isn't feasible. I didn't even go outside today. I didn't even eat until 8 p.m. I peed in the trash can a little bit by accident. Genuinely losing my mind. I did wake up with that fire. It was another gray day, so I spent almost the whole day inside. Turns out that I couldn't count last night. Because my brain was so fried, I actually ended up applying for 204 jobs, then applied to 2 more, so the total was 206. Now in my head, I was going through how I could explain the fact that I wasn't going to make it through the 1,000. But what kind of example would that be setting? Fuck that. Now I'm realizing now that I probably should have just hired a few VAs to apply for me, like I did when I was trying to become overemployed, but I guess if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it right. Also, let's talk job boards. When it comes to remote jobs, my absolute favorite job board is FlexJobs. And that is the main one other than LinkedIn that I'll be using for the the purposes of this video, but I've got a whole separate video coming soon about the best hidden job boards that I've used in the past with a lot of success. Look at this. Using my search criteria, there were over 5,000 verified fully remote jobs. I could have done this challenge 5 times over just using flex jobs. By the end of today, I fired out another 162 job applications, leaving only 66 left for tomorrow, which sounds short, but it's still another 4 to 5 hours of work. Night. Got up bright and early and polished off the rest of those applications. I'm gonna take you with me for the last one. Bada bing, bada boom. Now let's pop this over here. There we go. 1,000 job applications. This is where I wish I had some fireworks. It's better than getting 99 fletching on RuneScape. I really didn't think I was gonna be able to complete this. Perfect timing. I leave in 1 hour to go and pick up my lady from the airport. Though that being said, to be fair to the recruiters, I'm gonna give them a 3-week time period to be able to get back to me, because honestly, most haven't. I want the data to be as accurate as possible, and to do that, we need to take some time. So it's a little anticlimactic, but I hope you learned something in this video. Tried to give as much value as I possibly could. If you want my resume template, hit the link in the description. And if you're curious why I'm in Portugal, check out this other video. And as always, thanks for watching. Subscribe.